certain comedies. Certain comedies. Three minutes. Scene 1-1. Enter Flavius, Morellus, and certain commoners over the stage. Hence, home, you idle creatures, get you home. Is this a holiday? What, know you not, being mechanical, you ought not walk upon a laboring day without the sign of your profession? Speak, what trade art thou? Why, sir, a carpenter. Where is thy leather apron and thy rule? What dost thou with thy best apparel on? You, sir, what trade are you? Truly, sir, in respect of a fine workman, I am but, as you would say, a cobbler. But what trade art thou? To answer me directly. A trade, sir, that I hope I may use with a safe conscience, which is indeed, sir, a mender of bad souls. What trade, thou knave, thou naughty knave, what trade? Nay, I beseech you, sir, but be not out with me, yet if you be out, sir, I can mend you. What thee mean'st thou by that? Mend me, thou saucy fellow? Why, sir, cobble you. Thou art a cobbler, art thou? Truly, sir, all that I live by is with thee all. I meddle with no tradesmen's matters, nor women's matters, but with all. I am indeed, sir, a surgeon to old shoes. When they are in great danger, I recover them, as proper men as ever trod upon neat's leather have gone upon my handiwork. But wherefore art not in thy shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets? Truly, sir, to wear out their shoes to get myself into more work. But indeed, sir, we make holiday to see Caesar, and to rejoice in his triumph. Wherefore rejoice? Oops, it's Marcellus. Wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings he home? What tributaries to follow him to home? To grace in captive bonds his chariot wheels? You blocks, you stones. You worse, cruel men of Rome. Hard your hearts, knew you not Pompey? Many a time and oft have you climbed up to walls and battlements, to towers and windows, yea, to chimney tops, your infants in your arms, and there have sat the livelong day with patient expectation, to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. And when you see his chariots but appear, have you not made an universal shout that Tiber trembled underneath her banks to hear the replication of your sounds made in her concave shores? And do you now put on your best attire? And do you now call out a holiday? And do you now strew flowers in his way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Begone, run to your houses, fall upon your knees. Pray to the gods to intermit the plague that needs must light on the ingratitude. Go, go, good countrymen, and for his fault assemble all the poor men of your sort. Draw them to Tiber banks, and weep your tears into the channel, to the lowest stream do kiss the most exalted shores of all. Oh my gosh, oh goodness me. See where their basest metal be not moved? They vanish, tongue-tied in their guiltiness. Go you down that way towards the Capitol. This way will I. Disrobe the images, if you do find them decked with ceremonies. May we do so? You know it is the feast of Lupercal. It is no matter. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. I'll about, and drive away the vulgar from the streets. So do you too, where you perceive them thick. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly an ordinary pitch. Who else would soar above the view of men, and keep us all in servile fearfulness? Calpurnia. Peace ho, Caesar speaks. Calpurnia. Here, my lord. Stand you directly in Antonio's way when he doth run his course, Antonio. Caesar, my lord. Caesar, my lord. Here he is, my lord. Forget not in your speed, Antonio, to touch Calpurnia. For our elders say the barren touch it in this holy case, shake off their sterile curse. I shall remember when Caesar says, do this, it is performed. Set on and leave no ceremony out. Caesar! Ha! Who calls? It's better. Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue shriller than all in the music. Cry, Caesar, speak. Caesar is turned to hear. Beware the Ides of March. What man is that? A soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March. Set him before me, let me see his face. Fellow, come from the throng. Look upon Caesar. What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again. Beware the Ides of March. He is a dreamer. Let us leave him. Pass, pass. If this would stop going out, then I'd be able to do this fucking thing. Will you go see the order of the course? Not I. I pray you do. I am not gamesome. I do lack some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Let me not hinder, Cassius, your desires. I'll leave you. Brutus, I do deserve you now of late. I have not from your eyes the gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you. Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed I am of late with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself, which give some soil perhaps to my behaviors, but not let therefore be my good friends be grieved, among which number, Cassius, be you one. Nor construe any further my neglects than that poor Brutus, with himself at war, forgets the show of love to other men. Then, Brutus, I have much mistook your passion. By means thereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face? No, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself, but by reflection by some other things. 'Tis just, and it is very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see your shadow. I have heard where many of the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus, and groaning underneath his age's yoke, have wished that noble Brutus had his eyes. Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius, that you would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me? Therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear, and since you know that you cannot see yourself as well as my reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which you may not know yet. And be not jealous on me, gentle Brutus. Were I a common laughter or did use to stale with ordinary oaths, I love every new protester. If you knew that I do fawn on men and hug them hard, and after scandal them, or if you know that I profess myself in banqueting to all the rout, then hold me dangerous. Oh, shouting, 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 shouting. What is this shouting? I do fear the people, but Caesar for their king. Aye, do you fear it? Then must I think you would not have it so. I would not, Cassius, yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it that you would impart to me? If it be aught toward the general good, set honor in one eye and death in the other, and I will look on both indifferently. For let the gods so speed me as I love the name of honor more than I fear death. I know that virtue to be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favor. Well, honor is the subject of my story. I cannot tell you what you and other men think of this life, but for my single life self, I had as life not be as life to be, in awe of such a thing as I myself. I was born free as Caesar. So were you. We both have fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber, chafing with her shores, said Caesar to me, darst thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood, and swim to yonder point. Upon the word, accoutred as I was, and plunged in, and bade him follow. So indeed he did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it, with lusty sinews throwing it aside, and stemming it with hearts of controversy. But ere we could arrive the point proposed, Caesar cried, Help me, Cassius, or I sink. I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulder. Look, what was it? Other. The old Anchises bear, so from the waves of Tiber did I, tired Caesar. And this man is now become a god, and Cassius is a wretched creature, and must not bend his body if Caesar carelessly but nod on him. He had a fever when he was in Spain, and when the fit was on him, I did mark how did he shake. 'Tis true this god did shake. His coward lips did from their color fly, and that same eye whose bend doth awe the world did lose his luster. I did hear him groan. Aye, and that tongue of his that bade the Romans mark him and write his speeches in their books. Alas, he cried, give me some drink, Titinius, as a sick girl. Ye gods, it doth amaze me. A man of such a feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world, and bear the palm alone. Shouting from within, shouting from within. Another general shout. I do believe that these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar. Why, man, he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men at some time were masters of their fate. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings, Brutus and Caesar. What should it be in that Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together. Yours is as fair a name. Sound them. It doth the mouth as well. Weigh them, it is as heavy. Conjure with them. Brutus will start a spirit as soon as Caesar. Now in the names of all the gods at once, upon what meat does this our Caesar feed, that he is so grown, so great? Aye, thou art shamed. Rome, thou hast lost the breed of noble bloods, but went there by an age since the great flood. It was famed with more than with one man. When one could they say till now that talked of Rome, that her wide walls encompassed but one man? Now is it Rome indeed, room enough, when there is in it but only one man. Oh, you and I have heard our fathers say there was a Brutus once that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king. That you do love me, I am nothing jealous. What you would work to me, I have some aim. How I would have thought of this and of these times I shall recount thereafter. For this present I would not, so with love I might entreat you, be any further moved. What you have said I will consider. What you have to say I will with patience hear, and find a time both meet to hear and answer such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome under these hard conditions as this time is like to lay upon us. I am glad that my weak words have struck but thus much show of fire from Brutus. games are done, and Caesar is returning. As they pass by, pluck Casca by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, tell you what has proceeded worthy note today. I will do so. Look at you, Cassius. Look at you, Cassius. Cassius, go. Oh, there I am. But look you, Cassius, the angry spot doth glow on Caesar's brow, and all the rest look like a chidden train. Copernicus' cheek is pale, and Cicero looks with such ferret and such fiery eyes as we have seen him in the Capitol, being crossed in conference by some senators. Casca will tell us what the matter is. Antonio! Caesar! Let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men, and such as sleep o' nights. You, Cassius, has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous. Fear not, Caesar. He's not dangerous. He's a noble Roman and well given. Would he were fatter. But I fear him not. Yet if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should avoid so soon as that spare Cassius. He reads much. He is a great observer, and he looks quite through the deeds of men. He loves no plays, and as thou dost, Antony, he hears no music. Seldom he smiles, and smiles in such a sort as if he mocked himself and scorned his spirit that could be moved to smile at anything. Such men as he be never at heart's ease, while they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore they are very dangerous. I'd rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear, for always I am Caesar. Come on my right hand, for this ear is death, and tell me truly what thou think of him. You pulled me by the cloak. Would you speak with me? Ay, Casca, tell us what hath chanced today, that Caesar looks so sad. Why, you were with him, were you not? I should not then ask Casca what had chanced. Why, there was a crown offered him. And being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand, thus, and then the people fell a-shouting. What was the second noise for? Why, for that too. They shouted thrice. What was the last cry for? Why, for that too. Was the crown offered him thrice? Ay, marry, was it? And he put it by thrice, every time gentler than other, and at every putting by, mine honest neighbors shouted. Who offered him the crown? Why, Antony. Tell us the manner of it, gentle Casca. I can as well be hanged as tell the manner of it. It was mere foolery, I did not mark it. I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown, yet 'twas not a crown neither, 'twas one of these coronets. And as I told you, he put it by once. But for all that, to my thinking, he would fain have had it. Then he offered it to him again, and he put it on by again. But to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. And then he offered it a third time. He put it the third time by. And still, as he refused it, the rabblement hooted, and clapped their chapped hands, and threw up their sweaty nightcaps, and uttered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown, that it almost choked Caesar, for he swooned and fell down at it. And for mine own part, I durst not laugh for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air. But soft, I pray you, what did Caesar swoon? He fell down in the marketplace, and foamed at mouth, and was speechless. 'Tis very like he hath the falling sickness. No, Caesar hath it not, but you and I, and honest Casca, we have the falling sickness. I know not what you mean by that, and I am sure Caesar fell down. Oops. I know not why you mean by that, but I am sure Caesar fell down. If the rag people did not clap him and hiss him, according as he pleased and displeased him, as they used to do the players in the theater, I am no true man. What said he when he came unto himself? Harry, before he fell down, when he perceived the common herd, was glad he refused the crown. He plucked me his doublet, and offered them his throat to cut. And I had been a man of any occupation, I would not have taken him at a word. I would have might go to hell among the rogues, and so he fell. When he came to himself again, he said, if he had done or said anything amiss, He desired their worships to think it was his infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches where I stood cried, Alas, good soul, and forgave him with all their hearts. But there's no heed to be taken of them. If Caesar had stabbed their mothers, they would have done no less. And after that he came thus sat away. Aye. Did Cicero say anything? Aye, he spoke Greek. To what effect? Nay, and I tell you that, I'll ne'er look at your face again. But those that understood him smiled at one another and shook their heads. But for mine own part, it was Greek to me. I can tell you more news, too. Merlus and Flavius, for pulling scarves off Caesar's images, are put to silence. Fare you well. There was no more foolery yet, if I could remember it. Will you sup with me tonight, Casca? No, I'm promised forth. Will you dine with me tomorrow? Aye, if I be alive, and your mind hold, and your dinner worth the eating. Good, I will expect you. Do so. Farewell, both. What a blunt fellow this has grown to be. He was quick mettle when he went to school. So is he now in execution. Of any bold or noble enterprise, however, he puts on this tardy form. This rudeness is a sauce to his good wit, which gives men's stomach to digest his words with better appetite. And so it is. This time I will leave you. Tomorrow, if you please to speak with me, I will come home to you. Or if you will come home to me, and I will wait for you. I will do so. Till then, think of the world. Well, Brutus, thou art noble, I see. Yet I see thy honorable metal may be wrought from that is disposed. Therefore it is meet that noble minds keep ever with their likes. For who's so firm that cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard, but he loves Brutus. If I were Brutus now, and he were Cassius, he should not humor me. I with this knight in several hands in his windows throw, as if they came from several citizens, writing all tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of his name, wherein obscurely Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at. The spoon is too tall. To be glanced at. And after this, let Caesar seat him sure, for we will shake him, or worse days endure. Cicero. Thunder and lightning. Good evening, Casca. Brought you Caesar home? Why are you breathless, and why stare you so? Are you not moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing uniform? O Cicero, I have seen tempests when the scolding winds have riveted the knotty oaks, and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam to the exalted with the lightning clouds. But never till tonight, never till now, did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world, too saucy with the gods, incenses them to send destruction. Why, saw you anything more wonderful? Common slave, you know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, and yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. Besides, I had not since put up my sword. Against the Capitol I met a lion, who glazed upon me, and went surly by without annoying me. And there were drawn upon a heap 100 ghastly women, transformed with their fear, who swore they saw men all in fire, walk up and down the streets. And yesterday the bird of night did sit even at noonday upon the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say, these are their reasons, they are natural. For I believe they are pretentious things, unto the climate that they point upon. Indeed, it is a strange disposed time, but men may construe things after their fashion, clean from the purpose of the things themselves. Come, Caesar, to the Capitol tomorrow. He doth, for he did bid Antonio send word to you he would be there tomorrow. Good night then, Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in. Who's there? A Roman. Casca, by your voice. Your ear is good. Cassius, what night is this? A very pleasing night to honest men. Whoever knew them heavens men is so. Those that have known the earth so full of faults, for my part I have walked about the streets, submitting me unto the perilous night, and thus embraced. Casca, as you see, have bared my bosom to the thunderstone, and when the cross blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself, even in the aim and very flash of it. But wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? Is it the part of men to fear and tremble when the most mighty gods send us such dreadful heralds to astonish us? You are dull, Casca, and those sparks of life that should be in a Roman you do want, or else you use not. You look pale and gaze, and put on fear, and cast yourself in wonder, to see the strange impatience of the heavens. But if you would consider the true cause, why all these fires, why all these gliding ghosts, why birds and beasts from quality and kind, why old men, fools, and children calculate, why all these things change from their ordinance, their natures and performing faculties, to monstrous quality, why, you shall find that heaven hath infused them with these spirits, to make them instruments of fear and warning unto some monstrous state. Now could I, Casca, name to thee a man most like this dreadful night's, that thunders, lightens, opens, raves, and roars, as doth the lion in the Capitol, a man no mightier than thyself or me in personal action, yet prodigious ground, and fearful as these strange eruptions are. 'Tis Caesar that you mean, is it not, Cassius? Let it be who it is. For Romans now hath thews and limbs like to their ancestors, but woe the while! Our fathers' minds are dead, and we are governed with our mother's spirits. Our yoke and sufferance show us womanish. Indeed, they say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a king, and he shall wear his crown by sea and land in every place, save here in Italy. Draws his dagger. He draws his dagger. I know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Crassus. Hold on, use this mouse real quick. Therein, ye gods, you make the weak most strong. Therein, ye gods, ye tyrants to do defeats. Nor stony tower, nor walls of beaten brass, nor airless dungeon, nor strong links of iron can be retentive to the strength of spirit. But life, being weary of these worldly bars, never lacks power to dismiss itself. If I know this, know all the world besides. That part of tyranny that I do bear, I can chafe off at pleasure. Thunder, thunder in the background. So can I. So every bondman in his own hand bears the power to cancel his captivity. And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man, I know he would not be a wolf, but that he sees the Romans are but sheep. He were no lion, were not Romans hinds. Those that with haste will make a mighty fire, begin it with weak straws. What trash is Rome, what rubbish and what offal, when it serves the base matter to illuminate so vile a thing as Caesar? But oh grief, where hast thou led me? I perhaps speak this before a willing bondman, then I know my answer must be made. But I am armed, and dangers are to me indifferent. You speak to Casca, and to such a man that is no fleering telltale. Hold. Be factious for redress of all these griefs, and I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes farthest. They join hands. There's a bargain made. Now know you, Casca, I have moved already some certain of the noblest minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous consequence. And I do know by this, they stay for me in Pompey's perch. For now, this fearful night, there is no stir or walking in the streets, and the complexion of the elements in favors like the work we have in mind, most bloody, fiery, and most terrible. Stand close a while, for here comes one in haste. 'Tis Cinna. I do know him by his gait. He's a friend. Cinna, where haste you so? To find out you. Who's that? Medalist Cimber? No, it is Casca, one incorporate to our attempts. Am I not stayed for, Cinna? I'm glad on it. What a fearful night is this. There's 2 or 3 of us have seen strange sights. Am I not stayed for? Tell me. Yes, you are. O Cassius, if you could but win the noble Brutus to our party, be your content. Good Cinna, take this paper. These Cinna letters. And look you lay it on the praetor's chair, where Brutus may be, but find it, and throw this in at his window. Set this up with wax upon old Brutus's statue. All this done, repair to Pompey's perch, where you shall find us. Is Decius Brutus and Trebonius there? All but Metellus Cimber, and he's gone, to seek you at your house. Well, I will hie, and so bestow these papers, as you bade me. All but Metellus Cimber, and he's gone, to seek you at your house. Oops, that was the last one. Come, Casca, you know I will yet ere a day see Brutus at his house. 3 parts of him is ours already, and the man entire upon the next encounter yields him ours. Oh, he sits high in all the people's hearts, and that which would appear offense in us, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will change to virtue and to worthiness. Him and his worth, and our great need of him, you have right well conceded. Let us go. For it is after midnight, and ere day we will awake him and be sure of him. What Lucius ho? I cannot by the progress of the stars give guess how near today. Lucius, I say. I would it were my fault to sleep so soundly. Win, Lucius, win! Awake, I say. What, Lucius? Called you, my lord? Give me a taper in my study, Lucius. When it is lighted, come and call me there. I will, my lord. It must be by his death. And for my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at him. But for the general, he would be crowned. How that might change his nature, that's the question. It's the bright day that brings forth the adder, and that craves wary walking. Crown him, that. And then I grant we put a sting in him, that at his will he may do danger with. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins remorse from power, and to speak truth of Caesar, I have not known when his affections swayed more than his reason. But 'tis a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attains the utmost round, he then unto the ladder turns his back, looks into the clouds, scorning the base degrees by which he did descend. So Caesar may, then lest he may prevent. And since the quarrel will bear no color for the thing he is, fashion it thus, that what he is augmented would run to these and these extremities, and therefore think him as a serpent's egg, which, hatched, would as his kind grow mischievous, and kill him in the shell. The taper boileth in your closet, sir. Searching the window for a flint, I found this paper, thus sealed up, and I am sure it did not lie there when I went to bed. Get you to bed again, it is not day. Is not tomorrow, boy, the Ides of March? I know not, sir. Look in the calendar and bring me the word. I will, sir. The exhalations whizzing in the air give so much light that I may be read by them. He opens the letter and reads. Brutus, thou sleepst. Awake and see thyself. Shall Rome, etc., speak, strike, redress. Brutus, thou sleepst. Awake. Such instigations have often been dropped whene'er I have took them up. Shall Rome, etc. Thus must I piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What, Rome? My ancestors did from the streets of Rome the Tarquin drive when he was called a king. Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? O Rome, I make thee promise, if the redress will follow, thou receivest thy full petition at the hands of Brutus. Sir, march is wasted 15 days. There's a knock within. 'Tis good. Go to the gate. Somebody knocks. Since Cassius first did wet me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream. Genius and the mortal instruments are then in council, and the state of man, like to a little kingdom, suffers then, the nature of an insurrection. Sir, 'tis your brother Cassius at the door. What does us desire to see you? Is he alone? No, sir, there are more with him. Do you know them? No, sir, their hats are plucked about their ears and half their faces buried in their cloaks. By no means I may discover them by any mark of favor. Let them enter. They are the faction. O conspiracy, shamest thou to show thy dangerous brow by night, when evils are most free? O then by day, where wilt thou find a cavern deep enough to mask thy monstrous visage? Seek none, conspiracy. Hide it in smiles and affability. For if thou put thy native semblance on, not Erebus itself were dim enough to hide thee from prevention. I think we are too bold upon your rest. Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you? Which one was fucking Brutus? Oh, this was Brutus. I have been up this hour, awake all night. Know I these men that come along with you? Yes, every man of them. And no man here but honors you, and every one doth wish you had but that opinion of yourself, which every noble Roman bears of you. This is Trebonius. He is welcome hither. This, Decius Brutus. He is welcome too. This, Casca, Cinna. And this Metellus Cimber. They are all welcome. What watchful cares do interpose themselves betwixt your eyes and night? Shall I entreat a word? Oh, they're whispering. Whisper. Here lies the east. Doth not the day break here? No. Oh, pardon, sir, it doth, and yon grey lines that fret the clouds are messengers of day. You shall confess that you are both deceived. He points his sword. Here, as I point my sword, the sun arises, which is a great way growing on the south, weighing the youthful season of the year. Some 2 months hence, up higher toward the north, he first presents his fire, and the high east stands as the capital directly there. All right. Let us swear our resolution. No, not an oath. If not the face of men, the sufferance of our souls, the time's abuse, if these be motives weak, break off betimes, and every man hence to his idle bed. So let high-sided tyranny range on till each man drop by lottery. But if these, as I am sure they do, bear fire enough to kindle cowards and to steal with valor the melting spirits of women, then, countrymen, what need we any spur but our own cause to prick us to redress? What other bond than secret Romans that have spoke the word and will not palter? And what other oath than honesty? To honesty engage that this shall be, or we will fall for it. Swear priests and cowards and men catalysts, old feeble carry-ons, and such suffering souls that welcome wrongs. Unto bad causes swear. Such creatures as men doubt, but do not stain the even virtue of our enterprise, nor the impressive metal of our spirits, to think that or our cause or our performance did need an oath, when every drop of blood that every Roman bears, and nobly bears, is guilty of a several bastardy, if he do break the smallest particle of any promise that have passed from him. But what of Cicero? Shall we sound him? I think he will stand very strong with us. Let us not leave him out. No, by no means. Oh, well, let us have him, for his silver hairs will purchase us good opinion, and by men's voices to commend our deeds, and it shall be said his judgment ruled our hands. Our use and wildness shall no whit appear, but all be buried in his gravity. Oh, name him not, let us not break with him, for he will never follow anything that other men begin. Then leave him out. Indeed, he is not fit. Shall no man else be touched but only Caesar? Decius well urged. I think it is not meet. Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. We shall find of him a shrewd contriver, and you know his means. If he improve them, may well stretch so far as to annoy us all, which to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together. Our course will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius, to cut the head off and then hack the limbs, like wrath and death and envy afterwards, for Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let's be sacrificers, but not butchers, Caius. We will stand up against the spirit of Caesar, and in the spirit of men there is no blood. Oh, that we then come by Caesar's spirits, and not dismember Caesar. But alas, Caesar must bleed for it. And, gentle friends, let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fit for the gods, now hew him as a carcass fit for hounds. And let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up their servants to an act of rage, and after seem to chide them, this shall make our purpose necessary and not envious, which so appearing to the common eyes, we shall be called perjurers, not murderers. And for Mark Antony, think not of him, for he can do more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off. Yet I fear him, for in the engrafted love he bears to Caesar, I'll ask good Cassius, do not think of him. If he loves Caesar, all that he can do is to himself take thought and die for Caesar. And that were much he should, for he is given to sports, to wildness, and much company. There is no fear in him, let him not die, for he will live and laugh at this hereafter. The clock strikes, even though this is ancient Rome. Shakespeare didn't know that they didn't have clocks. Ding dong, ding dong. Brutus, peace, count the clock. The clock had stricken 3. It is time to part. But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or not, for he is superstitious grown of late, quite from the main opinion he held once of fantasy, of dreams and ceremonies. It may be these apparent prodigies, the unaccustomed terror of this night, and the persuasion of his augurers may hold him from the capital today. Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can no sway him. For he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, and bears with glasses, elephants with holes, lions with toils, and men with flatterers. But when I tell him he hates flatterers, he says he does, being then most flattered. Let me work, for I can give his humor the true bent, and I will bring him to the capital. Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch him. By the 8th hour. Is that the utmost? Be that the utmost, and fail not then. Caius Ligarius doth bar Caesar hard, who rated him for speaking well of Pompey. I wonder none of you have thought of him. Now, good Metellus, go along by him. He loves me well, and I have given him reasons. Send him but hither, and I'll fashion him. The morning come the ponce. We leave you, Brutus, and friends, disperse yourselves. But all remember what you have said, and show yourselves true Romans. Good gentlemen, look fresh and merrily. Let us not our looks put on our purposes, but bear it as our Roman actors do, with untired spirits and formal constancy. And so good morrow to you, everyone. Boy, Lucius, fast asleep? It is no matter. Enjoy the honey-heavy dew of slumber. Thou hast no figures nor no fantasies, which busy care draws in the brains of men. Therefore thou sleep so sound. Brutus, my lord. Portia, what mean ye? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to the raw cold morning, nor for yours neither. Your ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed, and yesternight at supper you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing, with your arms crossed. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further, then you scratched your head and too impatiently stamped with your foot. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not. But with an angry wafture of your hand gave sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled and withal, hoping it was but an effect of humor, which sometime hath his hour with every man. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep, and could it work so much upon your shape, as it hath prevailed on your condition? I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief. I am not well in health, and that is all. Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it. Why, so I do. Good Portia, go to bed. Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? What, is Brutus sick? And will he steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night, and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add unto his sickness? No, my Brutus, you have some sick offence within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And upon my knees I charm you by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself, your half, why you are so heavy, and what men tonight have had resort to you. For here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces even from darkness. Kneel not, gentle Portia. I should not need if you were gentle, Brutus. Within the bond of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it accepted that I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself, but as it were in some sort of limitation, to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure? If it be no more, Portia is Brutus's harlot, not his wife. You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as are the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart. If this were true, then should I know this secret. I grant I'm a woman, but withal a woman that Lord Brutus took to wife. I grant I'm a woman, but withal a woman well reputed, Cato's daughter. Think you I'm no stranger, stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so husbanded? Tell me your counsels, I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy, given myself a voluntary wound here in the thigh. Can I bear that with patience, and not my husband's secrets? O ye gods, render me worthy of this noble wife. Hark, hark, one knocks. Portia, go in a while, and by thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart. All my engagements I will construe to thee, all the character of my sad brows. Lead me with haste. Lucius, who's that knocks? Here's a sick man that would speak with you. Caius Ligarius that Metellus spake of. Boy, stand aside. Caius Ligarius, how? Vouchsafe good morrow from a feeble tongue. Oh, what a time have you chose out, brave Caius, to wear a kerchief. Would you were not sick? I am not sick if Brutus have in hand any exploit worthy the name of honor. Such an exploit have I in hand, Ligarius. Had you a healthful ear to hear of it. By all gods that Romans bow before, I have discarded my sickness. He pulls off his handkerchief. Soul of Rome, brave son derived from honorable loins, thou like an exorcist hast conjured up my mortified spirit. Now bid me run, and I will strive with things impossible, yea, get the better of them. What's to do? A piece of work that will make sick men whole. But are not some whole that we must make sick? That we must also. What is it, my Caius? I shall unfold to thee as we are going, to whom it must be done. And with a heart, sit on your foot, and with a heart new fired I follow you, to do I know not what, but it suffices that Brutus leads me on. Follow me then. Fuck. Piece of shit. Fucking play it. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. William Shakespeare. There we go. Brief intermission. Our play will start again in 2 minutes. Something fucking weak. You have to do this fucking go to Facebook. Thunder and lightning. Enter Julius Caesar in his nightgown. Nor heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice have Capernaum in her sleep cried out, "Help ho, they murder Caesar. Who's within?" My lord, go bid the priests you present sacrifice and bring me their opinions of success. I will, my lord. What mean you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today. Caesar shall forth. The things that threaten me ne'er looks but on my back. When they shall see the face of Caesar, they are vanished. Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There is one within, Besides the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce fiery warriors fight upon the clouds, in ranks and squadrons, in right form of war, which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air. Horses do neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. O Caesar, these things are well beyond all use, and I do fear them. What can be avoided whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar. When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes. Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me the most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. What say the augurers? They would not have you to stir forth today. Plucking the entrails of an offering forth, they could not find a heart within the beast. The gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart if he should stay at home today for fear. No, Caesar shall not. Danger knows full well that Caesar is more dangerous than he. We are two lions littered in one day, and I, the elder, and more terrible, and Caesar shall go forth. Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house, and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate house, and he shall say you are not well today. Let me upon my knee prevail in this. Well, this is a female, Calpurnia. Let me upon my knee prevail in this. Mark Antony shall say I am not well, and for thy humor I will stay at home. Here's Decius Brutus, he shall tell them so. Caesar, all hail! Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate house. And you are come in very happy time to bear my greetings to the senators and tell them that I will not come today. Cannot is false, and that I dare not, falser. I will not come today. Tell them so, Decius. Say he is sick. Shall Caesar send a lie? Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arm so far to be afeard to tell graybeards the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come. Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, that lest I be laughed at when I tell them so. The cause is in my will, I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statue, which like a fountain with 100 spouts did run pure blood, and many lusty Romans came smiling and did bathe their hands in it. And these does she apply for warnings and portents of evil imminent, and on her knee hath begged me that I shall stay at home today. This dream is all misinterpreted. It was a vision fair and fortunate. Your statue spouting blood in many pipes, in which so many smiling Romans bathed, signifies that from you great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognizance. This is by Calpurnia's dream is signified. In this way you have well expounded it. I have, when you have heard what I can say. I know it now true, the Senate have concluded to give this day a crown to mighty Caesar. If you shall send them word you will not come, their minds may change. Besides, it were a mock apt to be rendered for someone to say, break up the Senate till another time, when Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams. If Caesar hide himself, shall they not whisper, lo, Caesar is afraid? Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear, dear love to your proceedings bids me tell you this, and reason to my love is liable. How foolish do your fears now seem now, Calpurnia. Calpurnia, there she is. I am ashamed I did yield to them. Give me my robe, for I will go. And look where Cassius has come to fetch me. Good morrow, Caesar. Welcome, Cassius. But Brutus, are you stirred so early too? Good morning, Casca. Caius Ligarius, Caesar was ne'er so much your enemy as that same Og would have made you lean. What is that clock? Oops, Brutus is here. Caesar, it hath striken 8. Thank you for your pains and courtesy. There we go. I thank you for your pains and courtesy. See, Antony that revels long the nights, his was notwithstanding up. Good morrow, Antony. So to most noble Caesar. Bid them prepare within, Calpurnia. Whoa. Okay, we're going to do a street level. Fuck this shit. So the most noble Caesar. I am to blame to be thus waited for. Now, Cinna, now Metellus, what Trebonius, I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you call on me today, but near me that I may remember you. Caesar, I will, and so near will I be, that your best friend shall wish I had been further. Good friends, go in and taste some wine with me, and we, like friends, will straightway go together. That every like is not the same, O Caesar. The heart of the British earns to think about. Exeunt. Enter Armidarius, reading a letter. Caesar, beware of Brutus. Take heed of Cassius. Come not near Casca, have an eye to Cinna. Trust not Trebonius. Mark well Metellus Cimber. Decius Brutus loves thee not. Thou hast wronged Caius Ligarius. There is but one mind in all these men, and it is bent against Caesar. If thou beest not immortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee. Thy lover, Artemordius. Here I will stand till Caesar pass along, and as a suitor I will give him this. My heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. If thou reads this, O Caesar, thou mayst live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive. I prithee, boy, run to the Senate house. Stay not to answer me, but get thee gone. What dost thou say? To know my errand, madam. I would have had thee here and here again, ere I can tell thee what thou shouldst do there. O constancy, be upon my side. Set a huge mountain between my heart and the tongue. I have a man's mind, but a woman's might. How hard is it for women to keep counsel? Art thou here yet? Madam, what should I do? Run to the capital and nothing else, and so return to you and nothing else? Yes, bring me word, boy, if thy lord look well, for he went sickly forth. And take good note what Caesar doth, What suitors press to him? Hark, boy, what noise is that? I hear none, madam. Prithee, listen well. I heard a bustling rumor like a fray, and the wind brings it from the capital. Soothe, madam, I hear nothing. Come hither, fellow. Which way hast thou been? At mine own house, good lady. What is it o'clock? About the 9th hour, my lady. Is Caesar yet gone to the capital? Madam, not yet. I go to take my stand to see him pass on to the capital. Thou hast some suit to Caesar, hast thou not? That I have, lady. If it will please Caesar to be so good to Caesar as to hear me, I shall beseech him to befriend himself. Why, knowest thou any harms intended towards him? None that I will know will be, much that I fear may chance. Good morrow to you. Here the street is narrow. The throng that follows Caesar at the heels, of senators, of praetors, common suitors, will crowd a feeble man, almost to death. All get me to a place more void, and there speak to great Caesar as he comes along. I must go in. Ay me, how weak a thing the heart of woman is. O Brutus, the heavens speed thee in thine enterprise. Sure the boy heard me. Brutus hath a suit that Caesar will not grant. Oh, I grow faint. Run, Lucius, and commend me to my lord. Say I am merry, come to me again, and bring me word what he doth say to thee. This one was good. The Ides of March are come. Aye, Caesar, but not gone. Hail, Caesar! Read this schedule. Where's Decius? Trebonius doth desire you to errand to overread at your best leisure in this humble suit. Oh, you can't see. Humble suit. Oh, Caesar, read mine first. For mine's a suit that touches Caesar greater. Oh, whoops. For mine's a suit that touches Caesar greater. Read it, great Caesar. What touches ourself shall be last served. Delay not, Caesar. Read it instantly. What, is the fellow mad? Sirrah, give him place. What, urge you your petitions in the street? The fuck is... What, urge you petitions in the street? Come to the Capitol. They walk about the stage. I wish your enterprise today may survive. What enterprise, Papilius? Fare you well. Oh, Brutus, fuck. What said Popilian Lena? You wish today our enterprise might thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered. Look how he makes to Caesar. Mark him. Casca, be sudden, for we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, Cassius or Caesar never shall turn back, for I will slay myself. Cassius, be constant. Popilius Lena not speaks on of our purposes, for look, he smiles, and Caesar does not change. Trebonius knows his time, for look, you Brutus. He draws Mark Antony out of the way. Trebonius, Mark Antony, I don't know which one's fucking. Where is Metellus Clymer? Let him go, and presently prefer his suite to Caesar. Caesar sits. He is addressed. Press near and second him. Casca, you were the first that rears your hand. The conspirators and the other senators take their places. Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his Senate must redress? Most high, most mighty, and most puissant Caesar, Metellus Clymer throws before thy seat an humble art. I must prevent thee, Kimber. These couchings and these lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men and turn preordinance and first decree into the law of children. Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood. That will be thawed from the true equality from which that which melteth fools. I mean sweet words, low crooked courtesies, and base spaniel fawning. Thy brother by decree is banished. If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way. No, Caesar doth not wrong, but with just cause, nor without cause will he be satisfied. Is there no voice more worthy than my own to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear for the repealing of my banished brother? Brutus comes forth and kneels. I kiss thy hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Kimber may have an immediate freedom of repeal. What, Brutus? Pardon, Caesar. Caesar, pardon. As low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall to beg enfranchisement for Publius Kimber. I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. But I am constant as a northern star. Of those true fixed and resting quality, there is no fellow in the firmament. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and every one doth shine. But there's but one in all doth hold his place. So in the world, 'tis furnished well with men. And men are flesh and blood and apprehensive. Yet in the number I do know but one, that unassailable holds on his rank, unshaked of motion. And that I am he, let me a little show it even in this, that I was constant, Kimber should be banished, and constant do remain to keep him so. Oh, Caesar, hence, wilt thou lift up Olympus? Great Caesar, does not Brutus bootless kneel? Speak hands for me. They stab Caesar. Et tu, Brute? Freedom, liberty, tyranny is dead. Run, hence, proclaim, climb it about the streets, some to the common pulpits, and cry out, liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement. People and senators, be not affrighted. Fly not, stand still, ambition's debt is paid. Where's Publius? Where's Publius? He's here, quite confounded with this mutiny. Stand fast together, lest some friend of Caesar should chance. Talk not of standing, Publius, good cheer. There is no harm intended to your person, nor to no Roman else. So tell them, Publius. And leave us, Publius, let the people, rushing on us, should do their age some mischief. Do so, and let no man abide this deed, but we the doers. Where is Antony? Fled to his house, amazed. Men, wives, and children stare, cry out, and run, as if it were doomsday. Fates, we will know your pleasures, that we shall die. We know 'tis but the time and drawing days out that men stand upon. Why, he that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death. Grant that, and then his death a benefit? So are we Caesar's friends that have abridged his time of fearing death? Stoop, Romans, stoop, and let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood. Up to the elbows and besmear our swords. Then walk we forth, even to the marketplace, and waving our red weapons o'er our heads, let's all cry peace, freedom, and liberty. Stoop then and wash. How many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted over in states unborn and accents yet unknown? How many times shall Caesar bleed in sport, that now on Pompey's basis lies along, no worthier than the dust? So oft as that shall be, so often shall the not of us be called, the men that gave their country liberty. What, shall we forth? Aye, every man away. Brutus shall lead, and we will grace his heels with the boldest and best hearts of Rome. Soft, who comes there? A friend of Antony's. Thus, Brutus, did my master bid me kneel. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down. And being prostrate, thus he bade me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was moidal. Caesar was mighty, royal, and loyal, upliving. Say I love Brutus, and I honor him. Say I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. May safely come to him and be resolved how Caesar hath deserved to lie in death. Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living, but will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus, through the hazards of this untrod state, with all true faith. So says my master Antony. My master is a wise and valiant Roman. I never thought him worse. Tell him so. Please him come unto this place, he shall be satisfied, and by my honor, depart untouched. I'll fetch him presently. I know that we shall have him well to friend. I wish we may, but yet have I a mind that fears him much, and my misgiving still falls shrewdly to the purpose. But here comes Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony. O mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? Are all thy conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk to this little measure? Fare thee well. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself, there is no hour so fit as Caesar's death's honor, nor no instrument of half that worth as those your swords made rich with the most noble blood of all this world. I do beseech ye, if ye bear me hard now, whilst your purpled hands do reek and smoke, fulfill your pleasure, live 1,000 years. I shall not find myself so apt to die. No place will please me so, no mean of death, as here by Caesar, and by you cut off, the choice and master spirits of this age. Oh, Antony, beg not your death of us. Though now we must appear bloody and cruel, as by our hands in this our present act, you see we do, yet see you but our hands, and this the bleeding business they have done. Our hearts you will see not. They are pitiful, and pity to the general wrong of Rome, as fire drives out fire, so pity, pity. Hath done this deed on Caesar. For your part, to you our swords have laden points, Mark Antony, our arms unstrung of malice, and our hearts of brother's temper do receive you, and with all kind love, good news, and reverence. Your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of due dignities, says him. Only be patient until we have appeased the multitude besides themselves with fear, and then we will deliver you the cause, why I, that did love Caesar when I struck him, have thus proceeded. I doubt not of your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. Now, Caius Cassius, do I take your hand. Now, Decius Brutus, yours. Now, yours, Metellus. Yours, Cinna, my valiant Casca, yours. Though last, not least in love, yours, good Trebonius. Gentlemen all, alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground that in one of two bad ways you must conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer. But I did love thee, Caesar, oh, 'tis true. If then thy spirit took upon us now, shall it not grieve thee, dear, that thy death, to see thy Antony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of thou foes? Most noble, in the presence of thy corpse, had I as many eyes as thou hast wounds weeping as fast as they stream forth thy blood, it would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies. Pardon me, Julius. Here wast thou bade, brave heart. Here didst thou fall, and here thy hunters stand, signed in my spoil. I'm switching out Anthony. This is now Anthony. Here didst thou fall, and here thy hunters stand, signed in thy spoil, and crimsoned in thy leth. O world, thou wast the forest to this heart, and this indeed, O world, the heart of thee. How like a deer strucken by many princes dost thou here lie. Cassius, Mark Antony. Pardon me, Cassius Cassius. The enemies of Caesar shall say this, then in a friend it is cold modesty. I blame you not for praising Caesar so, but what compact mean do you have with us? Will you be pricked in a number of our friends, or shall we on and not depend on you? Therefore I took your hands, but was indeed swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. Friends am I with all of you, and love you all upon this hope, that you shall give me reasons why and wherein Caesar was dangerous. Or else where this is savage spectacle, our reasons are so full of good regard that were you, Antony, the son of Caesar, you should be satisfied. That's all I seek. And am moreover suitor that I may produce his body to the marketplace, and in the pulpit, as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral. You shall, Mark Antony. Brutus, a word with you. You know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak in his funeral. Do you know how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter? By your pardon, I will myself into the pulpit first, and show the reason of our Caesar's death. What Antony shall speak, I will protest. He speaks by leave and by permission. And what we are contented Caesar shall have all true rights and lawful ceremonies, it shall advantage more than do us wrong. I know not what my fall, I like it not. Mark Antony here, take you Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame us, but speak all goods you can devise of Caesar, and say you do it by our permission. Else shall you not have any hand at all about his funeral. And you shall speak in the same pulpit whereto I am going, after my speech is ended. Be it so. I desire no more. Prepare the fallen body and follow us. Oh. Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the time of times. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood. Over thy wounds now do I prophesy, which like dumb mouths do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar, that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered with the hands of war, all pity choked with custom of fell deeds. And Caesar's spirit, ranging for revenge, with 8 by his side, come hot from hell, shall in these confines with a monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war, that this foul deed shall smell above the earth with carrion men groaning for burial. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not? I do, Mark Antony. Caesar did right for him to come to Rome. He did receive his letters and is coming, and bid me say to you by word of mouth, Oh, Caesar! Thy heart is big, get thee apart and weep. Passion I see is catching, for mine eyes, seeing those beads of sorrow stand in thine, begin to water. Is thy master coming? He lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome. Post back with speed and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a morning Rome, a dangerous Rome, no Rome of safety for Octavius yet. Hie, hence and tell him so. Yet stay a while. Thou shalt not back till I have borne his corpse into the marketplace. There shall I try in my oration how the people take the cruel issue of these bloody men, according to the which thou shalt discourse to young Octavius of the state of things. Lend me your hand. Fucking thing. We will be satisfied. Let us be satisfied. Then follow me and give me audience, friends. Cassius, you go into the other street. And part the numbers. Those that will hear me speak, let them stay here. Those that will follow Cassius, go with him. And public reason shall be rendered of Caesar's death. Oh, the pulpit. I will hear Brutus speak. I will hear Cassius compare their reasons, when severally we hear them rendered. The noble Brutus is ascended. Silence. Be patient till the last. Romans, countrymen, and lovers, hear me for my cause, and have respect to thine honor, that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom, and awake your senses, that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say that Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living, and did all slaves, than what Caesar were dead, to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any, speak for him. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any, speak for him I have offended. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any, speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? If any, speak, for him have I offended. I pause for a reply. None, Brutus, none. Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol, his glory not extenuated, wherein he was worthy, nor his offenses enforced, for which he suffered death. Where's Mark again? Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the Commonwealth. As which of you shall not? With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself, when it shall please my country to need my death. Live, Brutus, live! Bring him with triumph home into his house. Give him a statue with his ancestors. Let him be Caesar. Caesar's better parts shall be crowned in Brutus. Peace, silence, Brutus speaks. Peace, ho! Good countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my sake, stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's corpse, and grace his speech, tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. I do entreat you, not a man depart, save I alone, till Antony have spoke. Stay ho, and let us hear Mark Antony. Let him go up into the public chair. We'll hear him. Noble Antony, go up. For Brutus' sake, I am beholden to you. What does he say of Brutus? He says, for Brutus' sake, he finds himself beholden to us all. 'Twere best he speak no harm of Brutus here. This Caesar was a tyrant. Nay, that's certain. We are blessed that Rome is rid of him. You gentle Romans. Peace, ho, let us hear him. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones, so let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath of Caesar answered it. Here under leave of Brutus and the rest. For Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this? Well, let's do a spotlight. There we go. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept? Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious. And sure, he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? O judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. He weeps. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me. Methinks there is much reason in his sayings. If thou consider rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong. Has he not, masters? I fear there will be a worse come in his place. Mark ye his words. He would not take the crown, therefore 'tis certain he was not ambitious. If it be so, some will dare abide it. Poor soul, his eyes are red as fire with weeping. There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony. Now mark him, he begins to speak. But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now he lies here, and none so poor to do him reverence. O masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong, and Cassius wrong, who you all know are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I'd rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I will wrong such honorable men. But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. 'Tis his will. Let but the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read, and they would go and kiss dead Caesar's wounds and dip their napkins in his sacred blood, yea, beg a hair of him for memory. and dying mention it within their wills, bequeathing it as a rich legacy unto their issue. We'll hear the will. Read it, Mark Antony. The will, we will hear reader's will. Have patience, friends. I must not read it. It is not meet you know how Caesar loved you. You are not wood, you are not stones, but men. And being men, hearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you, it will make you mad. 'Tis good you know not that what you are as hairs. For if you should, oh, what would come of it? Read the will. We'll hear it, Anthony. You shall read us the will, Caesar's will. Will you be patient? Will you stay a while? I have overshot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wrong the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it. They were traitors, honorable men. The will, the testament. They were villains and murderers. The will. Read the will. You will compel me then to read the will. Then make a ring about the corpse of Caesar, and let me show you him that made the will. Shall I descend, and will you give me leave? Come down. Come down. Nay, press not so upon me. Stand far off. Stand back, stand back. Give him room. If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. It was on a summer's evening in his tent, the day he overcame the Nervi. Look in his place ran Cassius's dagger through. See what a rent the envious Casca made. Through this the well-beloved Brutus stabbed. And as he plucked his cursed steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it, as rushing out of doors to be resolved. If Brutus so unkindly knocked or no, for Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, oh, you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all, for when the noble Caesar saw him stabbed, ingratitude, more strong than traitor's arms, quite vanquished him. Then burst his mighty heart, and in his mantle, muffling up his face, even at the base of Pompey's statue, which all the while ran blood, great Caesar fell. Oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen. Then I and you and all of us fell down, whilst bloody treason flourished over us. Oh, now you weep, and I perceive you feel that dint of pity. There are gracious drops. Kind souls, what, weep when you but behold our Caesar's vesture wounded? Look at you here. Here he is himself, marred as you see with traitors. Oh, piteous spectacle! Oh, woeful day! Noble Caesar, oh, most bloody sight, we will be revenged! Revenge about, seek, burn, kill, slay, and let a traitor live! Stay, countrymen. Peace there, hear the noble Anthony. We'll hear him, we'll follow him, we'll die with him. Good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up with such a flood of mutiny. They that have done this deed are honorable. What private griefs they have, alas, I know not, that made them do it. They are wise and honorable, and will no doubt with reasons answer you. And come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator, as Brutus is, but as you know me all, a plain, blunt man, that love my friend, and that they know full well that gave me public leave to speak of him, for I have neither wit, nor words, nor worth, action, nor utterance, nor the power of speech. To stir men's blood, I only speak right on. I tell you that which you yourselves do know. Show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor, dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But were I Brutus and Brutus Antony, there were an Antony would ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that should move the stones of Rome to rise and mutiny. Mutiny, we'll burn the house of Brutus. Away then, come the conspirators. Yeah, hear me, countrymen, yet hear me speak. Oh, peace, ho, hear Anthony, most noble Anthony. Why, friends, you go to do you know what not. Wherein hath Caesar deserved your loaves? Alas, you know not. I must tell you then. You have forgot the will I told you of. Oh, it's true, the will. Let's stay here, the will. Here's the will. And under Caesar's sill, to every Roman citizen he gives, to every several man, 75 drachmas. Most noble Caesar will avenge his death. Oh, royal Caesar! Hear me with patience. Peace home. Moreover, he hath left you all his walks, his private arbors, and new planted orchards on this side Tiber. He hath left them you, and to your heirs forever. Common pleasures to walk abroad and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar. When comes such another?
Never, never. Come away, away. We'll burn his body in the holy place, and with the brands fire the traitors' houses, take up the body.
Go, fetch fire.
Pluck down the benches.
Pluck down forms, windows, anything.
We'll take his body away. Now let it work. Mischief thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt. How now, fellow? Sir Octavius has already come to Rome. Oops. Where is he? He and Lepidus are at Caesar's house. And thither will I straight to visit him. He comes upon a wish. Fortune is merry, and in this mood will give us anything. I heard him say Brutus and Cassius are rid, like madmen, at the street gates of Rome. If you like, they had some notice of the people. How I had moved them. Bring me to Octavius. The fuck? I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar, and things unlucky charge my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth at doors, yet something leads me forth. Tomorrow I'll build a cardboard stage. This fucking thing. That's fine. Oh, let's see.
What is your name?
Whither are you going? Where do you dwell? Are you a married man or a bachelor? Answer every man directly. Aye, and briefly. Aye, and wisely. Aye, and truly, you were best. What is my name? Whither am I going? Where do I dwell? Am I a married man or a bachelor? And to answer every man directly and briefly, wisely and truly, wisely I say, I am a bachelor. That's as much as say they are fools that marry. You'll bear me with paying for that, I fear. Proceed directly. Directly, I'm going to Caesar's funeral. As friends or an enemy? As a friend. Matter is answered directly. For your dwelling, briefly. Briefly, I dwell by the Capitol. Your name, sir, truly. Truly, my name is Cinna. Tear him to pieces, he's a conspirator. I am Cinna the poet, I am Cinna the poet. Tear him for his bad verses, tear him for his bad verses. I am not Cinna the conspirator. It is no matter, his name's Cinna. Pluck his name out, but his heart, and turn him going. Tear him, tear him. Come, brands, ho, firebrands, to Brutus, to Cassius burn. All, some to Decius' house, and some to Casca's, some to Ligarius's. Away, go! These many then shall die, their names are pricked. Your brother too must die. Consent you, Lepidus? I do consent. Prick him down, Anthony. Upon condition, Publius shall not live. Who is your sister's son, Mark Antony? He shall not live. Look, with a spot I damn him, but Lepidus, go you to Caesar's house. Fetch the will hither, and we shall determine how to cut off some charge and legacies. What, shall I find you here? Or here, or at the Capitol. This is a slight, unmeritable man, but need to be sent on errands. Is it fit, the threefold world divided, he should stand, one of the three to share it? So you thought him, and took his voice who should be pricked to die, in our black sentence and prescription. Tavius, I have seen more days than you, and though we lay these honors on this man to ease ourselves of diverse slanderous loads, he shall but bear them as the ass bears gold, to groan and sweat under the business, either led or driven as we point the way. And having brought our treasure where we will, then take we down his load and tear him off, like to the empty ass to shake his ears and graze in commons. You may do your will, but he's a tried and valiant soldier. So is my horse, Octavius, and for that I do appoint him store of provender. It is a creature that I teach to fight, to whine, to stop, to run directly on, his corporal motion governed by my spirit. And in some taste is Lepidus but so. He must be taught and trained and bid go forth. A barren-spirited fellow, one that feeds on objects, arts, and imitations, which out of use and staled by their men begin his fashion. Do not talk of him but as a property. And now, Octavius, listen, great things. Brutus and Cassius are levying powers. We must straight make head. Therefore, let our alliance be combined. Our best friends made, our knees stretched. And let us presently go sit in council how covert matters may best be disclosed, and open perils surest answered. Let us do so, for we are at the stake, and bait about with many enemies. And some that smile have in their hearts, I fear, millions of mischiefs. Stand ho. Give the word ho and stand. What now, Lucilius? Is Cassius near? He is at hand, and Pindarus has come to do you salutation from his master. He greets me well. Your master Pindarus, in his own change or by ill officers, hath given me some worthy cause to wish things had been undone. But if he be at hand, I shall be satisfied. I do not doubt but that my noble master will appear, such as he is, full of regard and honor. He has not doubted a word, Lucilius. How you received, you let me be resolved. With courtesy and respect enough, but not with such familiar instances, not with such free and friendly conference as he hath used of old. Thou hast ascribed a hot friend cooling. Ever note, Lucilius, when love begins to sicken and decay, it useth an unforced ceremony. There are no tricks in plain and simple faith. But hollow men, like horses hot at hand, make gallant show and promise of their mettle. When they should endure the bloody spur, they fall their crests, and like deceitful jades, sink in the trial. Come, his army on? They mean this night in Sardis to be quartered. The greater part, the horse in general, are come with Cassius. Hark, he has arrived. March gently on to meet him. Stand ho! Stand ho! Speak the word along. Stand, 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 stand. Most noble brother, you have done me wrong. Judge me, you gods, wrong I mine enemies? And if not so, how should I wrong a brother? Brutus, this sober form of yours hides wrongs, and when you do them, Cassius, be content. Speak your grief softly, I do know you well. Before the eyes of both our armies here, which should perceive nothing but love from us, let us not wrangle. Bid them move away, then in my tent, Cassius, enlarge your griefs, and I will give you audience. Pindarus, bid our commanders lead their charges off a little from this round. Lucilius, do you the like, and let no man come to our tents till we have done our conference. Let Lucius and Titanius guard our door. That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noted Lucius Pella for taking bribes here of the Sardinians, wherein my letters praying on his side, because I knew the man was slighted off. You wrong yourself to write in such a case. In such a time as this, it is not meet that every nice offense should bear his comments. Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an inching palm, to sell and mark your offices for gold to unservers. I, an itching palm? You know that you are Brutus that speaks this, or by the gods this speech were else your last. The name of Cassius honors this corruption, and chastisement doth therefore hide his head. Chastisement? Remember March, the Ides of March, remember. Did not Greek Julius bleed for justice's sake? What villain touched his body that did stab, and not for justice? What shall one of us, that struck the foremost men of all this world, but for supporting robbers, shall we now contaminate our fingers with these base bribes, and sell the mighty space of our large honors for so much trash as may be grasped thus? I had rather be a dog and bay the moon than such a Roman. Brutus, spake not of me, I'll not endure it. You forget yourself, to hedge me in. I am a soldier, I older in practice, abler than yourself, to make conditions. Go to, you are not, Cassius. I am. I say you are not. Urge me no more, I shall forget myself. Have mind upon your health, tempt me no farther. Away, slight man. Is it possible? Hear me, for I will speak. Must I give way and room to your rash color? Shall I be frightened with a madman's stares? Oh, ye gods, must I endure all this? All this? Aye, more. Fret till your proud heart break. Go show your slaves how choleric you are, and make your bondsmen tremble. Must I budge? Must I observe you? Must I stand and crouch under your testy humor? By the gods, you shall digest the venom of your spleen, though I do split you. From this day forth I'll use you for my mirth, yea, for my laughter when you are waspish. Does it come to this? You say you are a better soldier. Let it appear so. Make your vaunting true, and I shall please be well. For mine own part, I shall be glad to learn of noble men. You wrong me every way. You wrong me, Brutus. I say an elder soldier, not a better. Did I say better? If I did, I care not. When Caesar lived, he durst not have this have moved me. Peace, peace, you durst not have so have tempted him. I durst not? No. What, durst not tempt him? For your life you durst not. Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that I shall be sorry for. You have done that you should be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats. For I am so armed, so strong in honesty, that they pass me by as the idle wind. which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold, which you denied me. For I can raise no money by vile means. By heaven, I had rather coin my heart and drop my blood for drachmas than to wring from the hard hands of peasants their vile trash by any indirection. I did send to you for gold to pay my legions, which you denied me. Was that done like Cassius? Should I have answered Caius Cassius so? When Marcus Brutus rose so covetous to lock such rascal counters from his friends, be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts. Dash him to pieces. I denied you not, but you did. I did not. He was but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath riven my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are. I did not till you practiced them on me. You love me not. I do not like your faults. A friendly eye could never see such faults. Flatterers would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus. Come, Antony and young Octavius, come, revenge yourself alone on Cassius. Cassius is aweary of the world, hated by one he loves, brave by his brother, cheats like a bondman, all his faults observed, set in a notebook, learned and conted by rote to cast into my teeth. Oh, I could weep my spirit from mine eyes. There is my dagger, and here my naked breast, within a heart dearer than Pluto's, mine richer than gold. If that thou beest a Roman, take it forth. I that denied thee gold will give my heart. Strike as thou didst Caesar, for I know, when thou didst hate him worse, thou lovest him better than ever thou lovest Cassius. Sheathe your dagger. Be angry when you will, it will have scope. Do what you will, dishonor shall be humor. O Cassius, you are yoked with the lamb that carries anger as the flint bears fire, who much enforced shows a hasty spark and straight is cold again. Hath Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, and grief and blood ill-tempered vexeth him? When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too. You confess so much? Give me your hand, and my heart too. Oh, Brutus, what's the matter? Have not you love enough to bear with me when that rash humor which my mother gave me make me forgetful? Yes, Cassius, and from henceforth when you are over-earnest with your Brutus, he'll think your mother chides and leave you so. Let me go in and see the generals. There is some grudge between them. 'Tis not meet they be alone. You shall not come to them. You shall not come to them. Nothing but death shall stay me. How now? What's the matter? I'm doing this voice wrong. How now? What's the matter? For shame, you generals, what do you mean? Love and be friends as two men should be, for I have seen more years, I'm sure, than ye. How vilely doth this cynic rhyme. Get you hence, Sirrah, saucy fellow, hence. Bear with him, Brutus, as his fashion. I'll know his humor when he knows his time. What should the wars do with these jigging fools? Companion, hence. Away, away, be gone. Lucilius and Titinius, bid the commanders prepare to lodge their companies tonight. And come yourselves, and bring Messala with you immediately to us. Lucius, a bowl of wine. Fuck is this Cassius? I did not think you could have been so angry. O Cassius, I am sick of many griefs. Of your philosophy you make no use if you give place to accidental evils. No man bears sorrow better. Portia is dead. Ha, Portia? She is dead. How escaped I killing when I crossed you so? Oh, insupportable and touching loss. Upon what sickness? Impatience of my absence, and grief that young Octavius with Mark Antony have made themselves so strong, for with her death that tidings came. With this she fell distraught, and her attendants absent swallowed fire. And died so? Even so. Oh, ye immortal gods! Speak no more of her. Give me a bowl of wine. In this I bury all in kindness, Cassius. My heart is thirsty for that noble pledge. Fill, Lucius, so the wine o'erswell the cup. I cannot drink too much of Brutus's love. Come in, Titanius. Welcome, good Masala. Now sit we close about this taper here and call in question our necessities. Portia, art thou really gone? No more, I pray you. Masala, I have here received letters that young Octavius and Mark Antony come down upon us with a mighty power, bending their expedition toward Philippi. Myself have letters of the self-same tenor. With what addition? That by prescription and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have put to death 100 senators. Therein our letters do not well agree. Mine speak of 70 senators that died, by their prescriptions, Cicero being one. Cicero one? Aye, Cicero is dead, and that by order of prescription. Had you letters from your wife, my lord? No, Masala. Nor nothing in your letters rid of her? That methinks is strange. Why ask you? Hear you aught of her in yours? No, my lord. Now, as you are a Roman, tell me true. Then, like a Roman, bear the truth I tell. For certain she is dead, and by strange manner. Why, farewell, Portia. We must die, Masala. With meditating that she must die once, I have the patience to endure it now. Even so great men losses should endure. I have as much as this is art as in you, but yet my nature could not bear it so. Well, to our work alive. What do you think of marching to Philippi presently? I do not think it good. Your reason? This it is. 'Tis better that the enemy seeks us, so shall he waste his means, weary his soldiers, doing himself offence, whilst we, lying still, are full of rest, defence, and nimbleness. Good reasons must of force give place to better. The people twixt Philippi and this ground do stand but in a forced affection, for they have grudged us contribution. The enemy marching along by them shall make a fuller number up, come on refreshed, new added, and encouraged. From which advantage shall we cut him off? If at Philippi we do face him there, these people at our back. Hear me, good brother. Under your pardon, you must note beside that we have tried the utmost of our friends. Our legions are brimful, our cause is ripe. The enemy increaseth every day. We are at the heights, are ready to climb. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood did on to fortune. Omitted all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea we are now afloat. We must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures. Then with your will go on, we'll along ourselves, and meet them at Philippi. The deep of night has crept upon our talk, and nature must obey necessity, which we will negard with a little rest. There is no more to say. No more. Good night. Early tomorrow we will rise and hence. My gown. Farewell, good Masala. Good night, Titinius. Noble, noble Cassius. Good night and good repose. Oh, dear brother, this was an ill beginning of the night. Never such division between our souls. Let it not, Brutus. Everything is well. Good night, my lord. Good night, good brother. Good night, Lord Brutus. Farewell, everyone. Give me the gown. Where is thy instrument? Here in the tent. What? Thou speakest drowsily. Poor knave, I blame thee not. Thou art overwatched. Call Claudio and some other of my men. I'll have them sleep on cushions in my tent. Varus and Claudio! Shit. Calls, my lord? I pray you, sirs, lie in my tent and sleep. Maybe I shall raise you by and by on business to my brother Cassius. So please you, we will stand and watch your pleasure. I will not have it so. Lie down, good sirs. If I may be, I shall otherwise bethink me. Look, Lucius, is the book I sought for so. I put it in the pocket of my gown. I'm sure your lordship did not give it to me. Bear with me, good boy, I am much forgetful. Canst thou hold up thy heavy eyes a while, and touch thy instrument a strain or two? Ah, my lord, and please you. It does, my boy. I trouble thee too much, but thou art willing. It is my duty, sir. I should not urge thy duty past thy might. I know thy young bloods look for time of rest. I have slept, my lord, already. If it was well done, and thou shalt sleep again, I will not hold thee long. If I do live, I will be good to thee. This is a sleepy tune. O murderous slumber, layest thou thy leaden mace upon my boy that plays thee music? Gentle knave, good night. I will not do thee so much wrong to wake thee. If thou dost not, thou breakest thy instrument, I'll take it from thee, and good boy, good night. Let me see. Is not the leaf turned down? Where I left reading? Here it is, I think. How ill this taper burns. Ha! Who comes here? I think it is the weakness of mine eyes that shapes this monstrous apparition. It comes upon me. Art thou anything? Art thou some god, some angel, or some devil that makest my blood cold and my hair to stare? Speak to me what thou art. Thy evil spirit, Brutus. Why comest thou? To tell thee thou shalt see me at Philippi. Well, then I shall see thee again. Aye, at Philippi. Why, I will see thee at Philippi then. Now I have taken heart, thou vanishest. No spirits, I would hold more talk with thee. Boy, Lucius, Verus, Claudio, sirs, awake. Claudio. Thy strings, my lord, are false. He thinks he steals at his instrument. Lucius, awake. My lord, didst thou dream, Lucius, that thou so cried out? My lord, I did not know that I did cry. Yes, that thou didst. Didst thou see anything? Nothing, my lord. Sleep again, Lucius. Sirrah, Claudio. Thou awake. My lord. My lord. Why didst thou so cry out so in your sleep? Did we, lord? Ah, saw you anything? No, my lord, I saw nothing. Nor I, my lord. Go and commend me to my brother Cassius. Bid him set on his powers times 4, and we will follow. It shall be done, my lord. What happens next? What happens in Felipe? Was that Caesar's ghost? Or just a Nintendo Wii controller? We'll find out next time in part 5 of Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. Go donate to Pursuance. Do it now.